World of Tank Blitzers, it's Littlefinger. Hey, gonna be doing a review here on the VK90.01P, which you see in the garage. It's October 10th, and if you remember from my video yesterday about what to buy in store, you saw that the VK90.01P has come for sale. Yes, this is not crates. This is a guaranteed tank. But the downside is 22,500 gold gets you the tank, the 9 equipment slots, and the camo. You can also get it for 20,000 if you've got extra credits laying around and you don't care for the camo. Of a note, I played 14 games in this tank and I have not received any offer to buy the premium camo, so it might be your only way to get it is through this deal here. I am unconfirmed on that, but 22,500 gold is a lot. It works out to be about 64 bucks if you use 350 gold to dollar. But if you were lucky enough, like I was, to have that 20k gold box, actually it was 16k gold box for 20 bucks, that obviously leaves you only needing 4,000 gold, which puts it about $31, $32 for the tank, which is a much more reasonable price than the 64. About the tank, obviously the rumors are out there about the armor on it and how good it is. I'm not finding it to be as good as advertised. Obviously, you've got a very weak spot here in the lower plate, 2 spots on each side of the gun mantlet. You've only got 4 degrees of gun depression over the front of the tank, 10 degrees over the side, but this armor is so weak in here. Why would you want to be over the side of the tank? It moves fairly well, but you're not going to be able to keep the mediums and lights from just leaving you in the dust. So let's quickly run through my setup. Repair kit, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. And as you can see here, you've got reticle calibration as an option. I ran several battles with this and I just didn't use it. All of my targets seemed to be too close really to even need it. So I went and switched it over to adrenaline. Interesting here, you'll see I'm running chocolate enhanced sandbag armor, which is going to give us 147 extra hit points, and sandbag armor, which is another 74. Again, like I was saying before, the improved fuels to me just don't do enough for mobility to keep you from making this tank team independent. It's very dependent on your team. So ammunition, I mean, my God, you've got 90 rounds here. So I just left it with the way it came, didn't touch it, but obviously you don't need to carry this much. If you have to shoot 90 rounds in a battle, something's way, way wrong. And you probably went over your 7-minute timeline. But anyway, I am running gun rammer. You do have very good pen on this tank. Defense system, improved optics, enhanced gun lane drives, and again, improved assembly as opposed to the enhanced armor. I am trying to get these hit points up as high as possible because I'm taking damage, and I'm taking big damage a lot of times too. So engine accelerator, refined gun, toolbox, and consumable delivery system. Alright guys, here's blitzstars.com, and I've got the VK90.01P pulled up here. 3 other tanks are the tier 10 heavy premium tanks, and then we've got the Mouse and the IS-4, which are my favorite tier 10 tech tree tanks. So just going to run through this as quick as possible. If you're looking at damage per minute, we're right in line with the rest of these tanks, not a whole lot of difference. 275 on pen, top of class, which is why we're running the gun rammer. Alpha 460, yes, top, but obviously right in line with the rest of these tanks. Moving on down to weapon handling, 2.26 aim time, really nice for a heavy tank of this caliber. 0.335 on the dispersion. So I think the aim time on this tank works really nicely. Problem to me is the movement and mobility here. Only 30 kilometers per hour is our top speed. Only the Mouse is slower. I find that I get left behind a good bit to fend for myself, which is difficult with the armor profile, which we'll go into in a second. Keep in mind, you do have 140% credit coefficient, so you're going to make money pretty much win or lose on this tank. 300 turret armor, 230 on the hull. The downside here is look at these numbers. They are so bad on the sides. and back. So keep that in mind. All right, and then one thing I wanted to point out, if you're spending 64 bucks on a tank, you need to know what you're getting. And with an average win rate here of 55%, yes, it's good, don't get me wrong, but you've got a Super Conch at 56. Even the Mouse and the IS-4, just regular tech tree tanks, have better win rates than this tank. So keep that in mind. All right, now let's switch on over here to, let's turn this off. So you'll see it. All right, so now we're facing an E75. We are on flat level terrain. Like I said, that lower plate is going to be your weak spot. If the E75 has calibrated shells and has APCR loaded, look at this. You've got several green spots, and there's really not much you can do. You start wiggling that turret too much, you only add in even more penetrable spots, right? So like I said here, you've got 4 degrees of gun depression, and as we rotate around, you'll see it dropping down to 8, 9, 10. But again, if you're shooting at a tank over here, you are exposed on the side. Now, the tank does work really well in side scraping positions. You can see you can pretty overly rotate this tank. But again, if you look at an E75, this is a tier 9 heavy tank, can get this much green. Let's take a look at say a Jagdpanzer E100 with heat and calibrated shells. All right, so now you know why. You're going to see a lot of premium ammo, but the tank is not impenetrable by any means. So get elevated, hide that lower plate, and wiggle your turret just ever so slightly, slide back and forth, and that's about what you can do to protect and deflect as many shots as possible. Alright guys, so here's the first game that I wanted to show you, and part of the reason here is I want you to watch this VK90.01 on the opposite team and see what happens to him when you get into a bad position. So we are going to push on over to see, like I said in the intro about this tank, you want to try to find buildings to, as we all crash into each other. I'm not sure why the T-57 just didn't go straight there, but I guess he got pushed out of the way by the FV4005. So great start here. Yeah, we'll take that little gas tank. Like I was saying, you want to try to find buildings to side scrape off wherever possible. And I think this other VK has probably the same idea. But our FV, for as eager and as fast as he was, is going to get out there and get some shots in early. And here we go. Alright, if you are over rotated on the hull, yep, that is going to be penetrable. This guy is bleeding some hit points, and there is that weak spot right there. It is APCR, but this guy is going to get taken out of this game rather quickly. We're just going to wait for him, see when he turns that turret, and then we'll take our shot. A little unfortunate with the accuracy there, but I'm going to scroll on back and go for shot number 2. He's showing me more of the side that time, so I'm going to switch over to AP. Now it's the IS-4's turn, and we set a fire, helping out our damage totals. And now we're up a tank, and I'm not sure what happens after this. It's even, I'm trying to get rotated around, side scrape. Unfortunately, forgot I still had APCR loaded. And here we get an idea of the accuracy of this gun, and I'm trying to push up to the rock, and I get shot in the track once, and I decided to go ahead and repair it. And decide to push up forward again. Tracked again. Now we're going to repair it. And, you know, we're just stuck in the open and we're taking shots left and right. And this is the downside, quite honestly, to this tank. And as you can see now, it is 5-on-2. So yeah, our team just completely fell apart. Although we haven't had a bad game. And there we go with the accuracy. I do think the gun is quite nice. 5-on-1 now. And they're all over me. I got a Yag Tiger to my left. The Foch and the AMX straight ahead. Pretty soon, you know, there we go. There's the tank to the right, Waffentrager. We'll go ahead and face him just because we can HE him and get some more damage. But then it's all over. So yeah, it's a 4K game, great. But again, like I was saying, team dependent. I mean, you know, if you can get more than one shot off in a T57, something's really wrong, guys. So we'll skip to the next replay. All right, guys. So here we are, Port Bay. As you can see, look at this. We've got nothing but tier 10s. They've got autoloader, 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 and a Sheridan and a Patton. All right. Yeah, so this should be a fun match. They've got a lot of firepower coming at you all at one time. The call is C. You heard that right. The call is C. T57, why are you going to go alone to A? Always best to stay with your team, guys. So here you get a feel. IS-7 is pushing us. He even knows that we're slow. Yep, they went A. Guess what, T57? You are going to have a very short game. All right, so this is where things fall even further apart. Our team is going to cap C, and then they're going to rotate all the way around to A, where there are going to be no more tanks, because they're all pushing us at C. All right, so overextending here a little bit too much, as we're going to get shot from the side by that Sheridan. So keep in mind, you know, the armor is only good for keeping tanks in front of you. And so you have to be aware of that. Now here we are, me and the IS-7, you know, we're calling for help. Bounce a shot off the T-57. I'm backing up to try to get myself into some hills, but nobody's coming back. You know, look at that. Look at the mini-map. Look at our heavy tank at the very top of the mini-map. Where are you? What are you trying to do over there? Anyway, so let's talk about the tank here and what I'm doing. Just trying to keep this lower plate protected, trying to move back and forth, not making it that easy for anyone just to get a clean shot into those weak spots that we talked about earlier. But now look, we've got T-57s coming at us from both sides. We've got the FE 4005 coming at us, a Sheridan. My mistake here, I probably should have just pushed back forward and kept that Sheridan and T-57 out of the game for a little bit longer. But I'm going to push back down. I was thinking that, you know, I could take on the T-57, but certainly that the Sheridan there and the Patton on top of me, it's like, geez, you know, where's the rest of the team, right? When you got guys like this swinging and missing. And this guy, he went down and got A. Our TD, bro, we need your damage per minute. We need your gun in the game, not circling the map for unnecessary cap points. But anyway, that just goes to show you, you know, it's very team dependent. As we watch these two guys just fail and fail miserably. A moment of silence for poor Object 268. Good night. Yeah, sad, sad, sad. But that's the way a lot of these games are. Not going to go onto a rant about matchmaking at this point in time. But as you can see, 3,329 in damage. We held our own. That's all I can say about that game. So we'll go on to one that is a little bit better. All right, guys. We got Falls Creek here. This is a Supremacy game. And just looking at the lineup, they've got some nice heavies. Vickers Light, I would expect, might be the only tank that goes A. Seeing a lot of heavy tanks out here lately, especially in ratings battles. Not exactly sure why. Meta may be changing a little bit. Certainly with the increased armor on some of these heavies and hit points. So I'm going to take a very advanced, aggressive position here. You know, I was just trying things differently. And obviously this is going to certainly help out with our spotting. And again, you know, this is a great position because I'm hiding that lower hull. I'm tall enough just to see over the top of it. The only potential weak spot here is if someone goes A or B, they could be shooting me through the opening, and then I'd have to decide probably to get down into the C cap at that point in time. But for right now, that's not happening, and so we're just working on doing damage and bouncing as many shots as we can. There we go, a max roll of 575 there. So, you know, we've got these four guys here all kind of just in their own spots. And I'm waiting for a little bit of help. Figure we can rush when the time comes. All right, here's the FV183. So time to push. Time to push. Let's go together. I'll let him cut in front of me there. And we're going to go focus on this IS-7. Luckily here, the E100 is AFK. Notice some people taking some free shots here when we've got active tanks to shoot. And we're going to see there the difficulty of panning the IS-7. There we go. We get a track shot. Make him repair it. Use up those repair kits. And you gotta love that. That shot goes nowhere near where I was aiming. I was aiming at the wheel, and it hits the lower part of the hull. And how about this one? That looks like a Chopin. No. Perhaps we should use APCR when going for kill shots. And we'll get one more in here. Good team effort. So the good team was on our side as we show another lopsided battle. Not on purpose, of course. 3,531 damage. That was level 2. And look at this, 119,000 credits. That's great for tier 10 money making. Alright guys, Rockfield. It's going to be the last battle I show, and as you can see from my equipment setup here at the bottom, we are using the improved optics. And like I said in the setup, you know, it was one of those things that I just did not use enough. So I went back to my standard adrenaline. Looking at the lineup here, we've got an E100 T57, we've got two Waffentraggers, which obviously are going to be sitting in the back. We do need to be careful though about those. So let's see how this game unfolds. Our AMX 5120 looks like he's going to be aggressive and push up into the corner hard. I am trying to use just a little bit of this ridgeline here and look out over the top of it. But again, we just don't have the gun depression. And yeah, so I'm going to push in and help out the AMX because he will get eaten alive by this T95 E6 if I don't, because he is on a super long reload at the moment. So can we get an HE shot into the back? Yeah, 637, that helps. I'm still going to need to get one more shot in though. Trying to keep this guy alive. He's going to take another shot for being way too aggressive, and so many naked tanks out there, guys. Alright, so we're down a cap, down a tank. Make that down. Yes, now we're down a tank. Trying to get out of there, and we take 2 huge shots. That hurt. That hurt bad. But here we go. Accuracy over distance. Yeah, looks pretty good. Gotta love penning HE from all that way. Alright, are you gonna come up? Nope, you're gonna get taken out. Very nice. Alright. T57. Where's my gun depression? Alright. There we're going to see an instance where, you know, coming off the side of the tank, get a little bit more gun depression would have been nice. Let's see if we can't get him there. Nope. Now we are sitting pretty. We're up a couple tanks. Just trying to reset here. Oh, now we've got a Waffentrager. Come on back, boy. Come on back. Again, kind of worried about this T57 rushing me, but want to get a shot in on the Waffentrager. There we go, 707 HE. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And again, that could have been a position where I use my improved optics, but I feel like you just don't really need to if you've got the time to aim. We'll come back here on the T57. Lovely shot there. Now we can push him. After we reload, we'll get the kill. Alright, finish him off. We got 2 tanks left. Let's be careful while we reload. Alright, we're going to need some gun depression. Let's go off the side here and look at that. That's a lovely shot too. So, like I was saying, the gun accuracy is really nice. We're going to blow this last shot, and again, another instance where I probably should have used the improved optics, but we rushed it. Could have maybe finished him off with another kill, but anyway, 4,373 damage is not bad. But unfortunately, you know, throughout these games, you saw I take some big shots, especially when he gets rushed hard from all directions. You just can't do anything about it. So while it is a very solid, fun tank to play, it's not worth 65 bucks. Maybe 30, yeah, sure. So, you know, if you've gotten a good deal on gold, then by all means, go ahead and pick this up for 30 bucks. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I do think it will be back for a little bit cheaper, as the way wargaming does. So, with that, I'm going to end my review of the VK, and hope you guys picked up some tips and considering buying the tank. And with that, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.